Hey, friends, and welcome back to our book club, Love and Responsibility, as we delve into the teachings of Pope St. John Paul II using Dr. Edward Surree's Men, Women, and the Mystery of Love. Well, guys, this is the last week of our book club, and I'm so grateful to all of you who have persevered to the end. You've struggled, and it's been ups and downs, I have no doubt, but here we are, and God has blessed our journey. I ask for his continued blessings upon all of you. I hope that your discussions and time for personal prayer last week went very well. As always, we're trying to make this very practical, a lived reality in our lives, deeper friendships, deeper relationships, Christ-centered relationships. So chapter 14 is entitled, For Engaged Couples, Preparing Your Heart for Your Spouse. And as was the case last week, same thing this week, a lot of the themes brought up we've discussed in the other chapters of the book. Today, Dr. Edward Surree gives us 4 tips for engaged couples when it comes to really preparing well for your marriage. Now, that note of preparation, sometimes I think if I can have enough experiences, if I can read enough books or enough articles or have enough conversations, then I'll be perfectly prepared. And so Dr. Surree gives us kind of a little warning. It's not just about gaining all the experience in the world. It's really about allowing the Lord to work on your heart, to expand your heart, to strengthen your heart, to make your heart more a heart of flesh as opposed to a heart of stone. So, as he said, we got to get to the heart of the matter. It's not just a question of how much experience do I have, how many conversations have I had, how many books have I read about marriage. It goes beyond that. It goes deeper than that. So 4 tips. First tip is turn your heart toward others. Real love is about turning your heart outward toward others. It's very easy in our culture today to be very self-centered. It's all about me, kind of looking for the easy way, the convenient way for myself. Well, real love means, nope, got to get outside of yourself and enter into the lives of those around you. Chapter begins with kind of a funny story, husband and wife in the early days of dating and maybe even early in their marriage. It's very kind of its idealized version of marriage. We're sipping a glass of wine, we're at dinner beside the beach, and it's just wonderful, etc. To flash forward maybe 5 years, they got a few kids running around, it's chaotic, they're at the dinner table, husband's got one kid in his hands, the wife's got the other, and the other one's running around, and they're trying to keep track, and the husband's just trying to make eye contact with his wife, let alone get a couple words of conversation in. And at a certain moment, there's this hypothetical question, is this really what I signed up for, this chaos of marriage? And the answer is, yes, this is exactly what you signed up for. This is what marriage is all about. Guys, whether you like it or not, marriage is going to pull you out of yourself. And this is what John Paul II has to say about that. He says, true love draws a man and woman beyond just their own love for each other and into a deeper love found in serving the children who embody their love. Now, this is an excuse to abandon your wife or to abandon your husband and not pay attention to him or her after you're married because it's all about the kids. That's not what it's talking about. But a mature love is husband and wife face to face, but also shoulder to shoulder, face to face, loving each other, but also working together as they cultivate and educate and bring to life and fruition these new lives the Lord has blessed them with. So to prepare for this, an important thing that an engaged couple could do is to reach out and find ways to serve together as a couple. That, it's not just about us, but how can we as a couple now look outward and help those around us. This might be a little difficult in times of COVID. I don't know. There's probably various serving opportunities. I think if you're local parish, you can always reach out to the priest. I know if you're here in St. Anthony's Parish, San Gabriel, we'd find something for you to do. So I would suggest you reach out to your parish, your Catholic church, and see what help they might need, or other organizations as well, I'm sure would accept it. But the idea is how to serve together as a way to prepare for marriage, which will force you into slave labor. No, I'm just kidding. You'll have to learn how to serve, whether you like it or not. Okay, tip number 2 is prepare your heart for greater self-giving. Similar to the first tip, but at this, I just to kind of encapsulate it, love is not a feeling, but a choice. Love is not a feeling, but a choice. We can get very duped into this idea of love. It's just feelings and this is wonderful and we're together and lifelong but hey, once you get together, I mean, the going can get rough and you really have to commit daily to decide, I'm going to love my husband today, even though he's nuts, right? I'm going to love my wife today. I'm going to say what I should say, even though I may not feel like saying it. I'm going to do what I may not feel like doing, but what is in keeping with her dignity. And you see what I'm saying? So it's a choice. It entails sacrifice. Dr. Street points out that there's a movement, and there should be throughout the engagement period, of a movement from me mentality to we mentality. So the man, the woman, as they're engaged, they need to start developing that, I'm not my own. It's not just about me. Fulton Sheen has a great book. It's called The Priest is Not His Own. Well, husbands and wives, you're not your own anymore. And in this process of engagement, you're having to learn that it's more about we now. So all of your decisions regarding, anything from finances to work and career, spiritual things, it affects the other. And there has to be good communication and conversation and ultimately a dying to oneself as you seek to do what's best for your fiance, best for your marriage, best for your married life together, the one flesh union. So you have to grow in this sense of responsibility. So that's the second tip. Prepare your heart for greater self-giving. The third tip is open your heart more to your beloved. Engagement is a time to get to know each other on a deeper level. So got to get off the surface level stuff. I deal with couples, preparing them for their wedding day and their marriage for a lifetime. And it's true, there's a lot of things they have not talked about. Even though they're planning the wedding date, etc., they've come to the Catholic Church, but they haven't talked about a lot of difficult topics. Topics including finances and debt, saving money, the faith and practicing the faith. And what are the expectations? What does that look like? In-laws and family, getting along with the extended members of families. Sex, openness to children, friends. Do I like his friends? Do I not like his friends? Does she like, etc. Work and career, decisions around all these things. Anyway, there's a lot of topics you can get into. That's why my favorite part of the marriage preparation process, it happens right off the bat. It's the focus questionnaire. It's an inventory of questions to help the couples have, as I call it, great conversations about really important issues. So you have to have those conversations. I know Matthew Kelly and Dynamic Catholic have a free inventory that you could look up and you could use as you talk to each other and have these difficult conversations. Once again, getting to know each other on a deeper level. Struggles, hopes, dreams. The idea is you need to let the other into your heart. One word answers, yes, no, yes, it doesn't quite cut it at a certain level. And then the last point I'd say is, guys, go to your parish priest and start getting preparation for marriage. So reach out. There's a whole program and process at parishes by which couples enter into, and it's really all about helping you have the best marriage possible. It's not about putting obstacles. So reach out and begin that process. That's the third tip. Open your heart more to your beloved. The fourth tip is turn your heart more toward God and the importance of prayer. So Dr. Street points out it takes three to get married: a man, a woman, and God. Man, woman, and God. So God is essential for a healthy and successful marriage. I got the book right here. Maybe this could be your next book club book, Three to Get Married by Fulton Sheen. I'm a big Fulton Sheen fan. But the point being, God is essential. And so each of the future spouses need to unite themselves to the Lord if they hope to have a successful marriage. So there's that personal connection with God. So things like personal prayer, setting aside time every day to dialogue and talk to the Lord. But also as a couple, setting aside time for the Lord. The most important time you'll have as a couple with God is at Sunday Mass. So if you're not going to Mass now, that's a problem. You need to start going to Mass. And it'll do nothing but bless your relationship. But also taking time for personal prayer together. Maybe you could read a passage from the Bible and discuss it. What does this mean? Or you can share prayer requests with each other. Honey, what do you want me to pray for? Etc. Or you could pray for each other in this moment. I want to pray for you, and you just ask the Lord's blessing upon each other. So all those are powerful ways to pray together as a couple, which is also very important and essential. But the whole point is you need God, and your future spouse doesn't just need you. Your future spouse needs God working in and through you. And so to the extent that you're open to the Lord, will God really work through you as you try to love your future wife, try to love your future husband, try to love your future children, right? So God needs to be working through you. Frequent confession, reception of the Eucharist are indispensable. Once again, if you're not going to Mass, start going to Mass. Whatever you're not doing now, don't think you're going to do it once you get married, because the odds are that ain't going to happen. So if you're not going to confession now regularly, if you're not struggling against sin, if you're not trying to grow in holiness, if you're not seeking to be united to Christ, especially in regular reception of Holy Communion, if you think it's just going to change after marriage, no, that's just not the way it works. So you have to start doing now what you hope to do in marriage. Like we talked about last week, the person you're becoming, it begins right now. So your spouse and children desperately need you to take these things seriously. Don't just give yourself to them. Give God working in and through you. It takes 3 to get married. So those are the 4 tips. I think they're really good. You can read more about it in the chapter. Have some great discussions this week. Guys, I've really enjoyed this book club. Be assured of my prayers for you, and I look forward to what it is the Lord will bring for us in the future. May God bless you. We're united in prayer.